We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
I'm back. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. If you are petty, you don't have to get petty. Hallelujah, hallelujah. If you are petty, you don't have to get petty. And welcome back to my show. Well, I worn out my welcome. Now what? So, what is this live about? First, I thought I was going to be going live at 1 o'clock. Then I woke up and I think instead of canceling it, this version or my version of Podbean will actually just trip it to like the next hour. And I'm glad because I got to add a whole bunch of crazy music because I like music and I can goof around with the sound effects and then try to make this live as lit tea as cool as possible. So, what is this week or what is today going to be about? I'm also going to attempt to make a compilation of my lives and actually probably I'm going to try to post it either after tomorrow's live or even on Thursday. And when I just basically talk about a lot of the reality TVs, because I do realize that there is another live that actually is getting ready to air tonight, and I want to view it a couple of times and then basically get my take on it. I also need to repeat or rewatch that last segment of Real Housewives of OC because I think I missed something. I watched Monday Night Live with Carlos King, Jordan. What's her name? Little light skinned lady who is funny as hell. And look at Dustin Ross. Claudia, oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, Miss Claudia, but it was actually pretty dope. And they had Miss Nell on, and I think my assessment of Huntsville was spot on because I noticed the same things that they did. I don't think I'm going to need to watch that again because, again, I think my assessment was spot on, and I'm not going to really change my mind about Letitia Scott, as Miss Nail called it. But today's episode live is I'm going to be doing an expansive look at my personal beef with conventional banks, Wall Street, and why I'm not carrying nobody's sign. I got bad feet, bad knees, and a bad back. Ain't walking nowhere. And plus it's hot as hell. And I'm trying to get off of these patches. But again, I digress. But retail posting is going to be my way of showing my disdain for what's going on now in finance and the fools in the White House. And this is an expansion on a reaction to one of the Stansberry Research, which is another financially driven research engine that I basically became familiar with when I basically wanted my money to start working for me because I'm not contracting, not working in anybody's hospital or clinic. I don't really want to do that. And I think I'm priced out of most other contract jobs as far as EHR, deployment, etc. So well, they won't play my dramatic hip hop track. I wonder why. Hmm. I added all of this music in there. Actually, I wanted to do that. That's why I know I should have rehearsed this and did a different upload. Why did they add? All of these things are actually plussed, but none of them are playing appropriately. Y'all getting on my nerves for real. For real. Let me just go back and see if I can actually play, if it allow me to actually play something else. Let's see. I'm gonna have to get this on lock because it's not letting me do a whole bunch of stuff, child. Is in alignment with a podcast segment dedicated a fictional PI and all about true crime or fictional crime in this case. Don't you think? Well, that was supposed to be the intro to Scam Nation. And then, but let's get to it, y'all. What am I talking about? Me beefing with Wall Street and retail protests. And what I basically did at the beginning, I think this was more towards the end of last year, beginning of this year, when I shorted Macy's. Macy's, and this is all the DEI rollback too. Macy's has actually been really good with promoting and having whole segments as it related to persons of color and more ethnic, carrying more ethnic things and basically putting them more displays. Tabitha Brown and the like have had very, very good runs at Macy's and then Target, and then the rollback of DEI started in earnest after the election of 2024 and the post when the felon took over the White House. But this even started way before that, when Macy's had to restate their financial statements. I had also decided in 2024, not only I became a PI and got my permit to carry a concealed weapon. I decided to go back to school because I wanted to do another or add to my current skill set, utilize current skills, add to my current skill set. And how can I also work from home and not have to be in an office full of people with their little snotty noses? I had to figure out a way to actually do that. And I decided to go back to school at SNHU completely online as a fraud investigator. Then come to find out, completely online education is fraud in itself. I started taking what I would actually, then I decided that number one, we're gearing up for probably one of the biggest rug pulls in history. I'll actually explain that when I start talking about altcoins, but also insider trading that is going to, and insider trading and Ponzi scheme that's going to actually make Madoff blush. But what ended up happening is I went through a couple of sessions, spent a tripped out amount of money to basically teach myself and also use AI to basically have major research papers. And I thought it was a rip. Why can't I take that money that I would actually have been using in for tuition and use it in the stock market or to buy crypto? Or how to figure out how to utilize the value of my coin collection in order to support my own altcoin. These are the types of things that I actually am grateful that I actually have the time to explore while I work from home. Granted, I make sure I set the bar. I overdo it, of course, because I know that they're watching me closer than anybody else in my department at my corporate gig. But at the same time, I still value my time off when I'm not on their computer, when I'm not doing something. I can still get those, review my cases, and then keep it pushing, and then explore other money making opportunities. They are making it, and with the big beautiful bill and a lot of other things, um, I never want to be caught off guard. To I want to preserve my income because I really like where I live. I really like what I drive, and I really like to being able to explore my creative side. And what I actually do during the day actually affords me the lifestyle that I've become used to. But I don't ever want to be caught out, even with severance packages, you being getting your retirement, even those things. I want to actually have a stream of income comparable or above what I'm making now to be able to continue to support my life. I don't want to ever be caught out where I can't log back in. I don't ever want to be caught out where um, if they decide not to give you your bonus at all, you're still not going to be short for the rest of the year because you don't have any debt, because you don't have to actually live with trying to live within some type of mean and budget, but you actually still have to put stuff on credit cards. I want them to offer me the American Express Black, not only because I spend that much, but I pay it off in that amount of time. I don't mind, or getting Christmas cards from like Van Cleef and Arpels and Louis Vuitton, like Heather Dubrow does, or Real Housewives of OC. That's the kind of shit, bougie shit, that I actually want to do. I want to basically have a live and have a drink with my listeners, detailing which is better, Crown Royal chocolate. Let me see this. Mm. Which tastes like a very strong dark chocolate with the kick, but it's a smooth dark chocolate. It's almost like the creaminess of that Bailey's cream, but it's completely brown, and oh, it's just gangster. And I do like their chocolate colored bag. I got a whole bunch of them because my favorite new drink was their new blackberry version. I thought that is off the chain. Now this chocolate is the bomb, and now I'm going to have to go back for the Crown Royal salted caramel. But you can put that in the chat. Which is better, the Crown Royal caramel or the blackberry? You tell me, and we'll chat about it next live, or you could just put it in your comments. Send the comments to me wherever you listen to the podcast. But again, I digress. So what I was actually getting ready to say, why my personal beef with conventional banks, because I was actually dissed from a home equity line of credit standpoint by Bank of America back in October of 2024. I was like, by the time I basically found out that I was not going to get the loan, basically they didn't even send me a form letter until much later. I the agent that was contacting me essentially ghosted me, and for a lot of reasons that I couldn't understand. I had done some research with Bank of America, anyways, and they do this new age. They had been accused of this new age redlining back in Philly. And now, when I see the reports that because of soaring interest rates, they've actually have posted a gain. There's been a lot of other management decisions that they have actually made for members like me that I believe made Warren Buffett sell 400 million shares or sell his stake that was worth over $400 million. How are you going to have one of the biggest stakeholders and they basically give y'all the deuces because they do not agree with how y'all run y'all business? I want to be little Warren Buffett Jr. Tina, but at the same time, having that much power and clout, I'm still learning how to be that financial steward that basically will make people treat me not like I'm Sam Sausagehead. And then y'all don't come at me until I'm trying to figure out how to close every account. Then they go back in the account and say, "You've been with us since 1997. Yes, I basically signed up by Bank of America by phone as I was getting ready to go to residency. I've been with y'all for almost 30 years and it means absolutely nothing. Same thing with Nationwide. Been with them through thick and thin, through two houses, RVs, and then y'all come and tell me that y'all going to be one of the highest priced um, home insurers in the land and don't offer me as much as State Farm does. And again, it doesn't mean anything. I've been with Nationwide since I bought my first truck in 1993. So, and then I found out that, and all the fees and everything, and how much of my income has come through your bank. Same thing with Wells Fargo. Started out with them, Wachovia, at business back in 2004. And now at this stage in my life and income, again, still treat me like the single digit FICA score that I am no longer. But I do remember those days. And I'm always going to be good for the money. And my thing now, I'm into my bag and I'm trying to increase the bag. But they ain't trying to hear that. And they definitely don't care until you basically get ready to close everything and every credit card. Now you're going to try to ask me, why do you have time to talk about why you're leaving? No. Y'all needed to talk to me 3-4 months ago when I got ghosted by that agent. Why no y'all don't send me anything with different balances? Yeah, y'all just, again, I don't care. And y'all obviously don't care about me. I am not as rich as Beyonce, but I'm getting ready to hopefully level up and get her scratch. My nephew actually needed help getting back from his trip. I want it wouldn't it have been dope instead of trying to get him away back home. I could basically say, well, you need to be ready in a certain amount of hours because you need to go to this private airport and get on my private jet. Yes, I'm actually claiming that. I'm actually self actualizing that. But I'm still petty though. But anyways, but all of those things I go out to tell that, and as I said at the top of the show, no, I'm not going to be protesting up and down and getting arrested, etc. But I can protest and make a difference my way. I basically, at the also beginning of the year, I had finally updated my Charles Schwab account. Charles Schwab and me have an interesting relationship. That is a retail investor type of bank, and they basically bought out TD Ameritrade years ago. But I had not made any trades with Charles Schwab since I actually participated in the meme stock when AMC ran up from like $3 a share as to as much as $80 a share before they his the top sold and took the profits when it basically came plummeting down. Now I know, getting in, getting out when it drops at a certain point. I kind of lost my way a little bit because I participated in the core weave, but I still actually believe in that stock. But it has significantly dropped from its high of 181 a share. I got in when it first debuted back in March, at $35 a share, and all of the primary private investors, basically in the last when uh, the there's like a time limit where they're barred, from basically selling their immediate shares. That expired. That expiration was like last week. So I saw the price of the stock basically almost tumbled down. But if you had gotten in primarily at $35 a share, you don't want it to go back to $35 a share or below that. But I'm basically trying to basically protect my profits as much as I possibly can. So now I have a limit order, that's just waiting for it to, be, for a basically a limit order is, the price that you will take for that stock to hit before you sell it to basically maximize, your profits from the stock. But Charles Schwab does this weird thing where it basically takes an average price of where you bought, many, um, because I bought mine, that particular stock, in a whole bunch of different lots. And I sold some and then I bought some more at a different price point. So it basically takes an average of that. Then it calculates what, your average, not, they basically compare that average price to the market price to figure out just how your unrealized and realized losses or gains. But I want my stock, the market price for that stock, to be a certain extent, so I won't feel so bad because, I think I bought, a lot, at a higher limit price than I probably should have because, we had this exuberance. Everybody was, buying the stock up, and then I was like, run it, run it, run it. I did take my profits, so I made a little bit of money on it, but I wish I could have, preserved, or the price itself had been preserved, a little bit higher than it is now. I don't think it's priced too high now. They do have taken on a lot of debt, but they just went, public in March. So what can you expect? I think they're making some great decisions and making some great acquisitions and reorganization to be able to, get rid of that debt. But AI and, the a lot of these software makers and chip makers, they are creating, the next billionaire. And why couldn't I be a little nappy head girl from Chattanooga, Tennessee? Why not? You know what I mean? So I mentioned Charles Schwab because they it went from TD Ameritrade, well, E-Trade to TD Ameritrade, and then Charles Schwab got, bought. And I was basically in the run the pockets. I was mad at Muskrat for aligning himself with that felon, and then he got mad. They had a falling out, and now he's threatening, to reveal everything because I think they really did help that fool cheat. I also wanted a better way and to make better financial, decisions by, um, getting more education. And that's the other great thing about Charles Schwab for, a, institutional or retail investor. They themselves have, a lot of presented a lot of education, um, that you can be, take part in to help you make your own, financial decisions. And it's really easy to navigate through their research tab and find other stocks to be able to buy, trade, and when to trade, how to set those, how to look, set the alerts, what alerts to set, and how to know when to get in and know when to get out. And also helping better spot a scam. Now, granted, checking analytics is run by a retired Wall Street financial analyst of many, many years. I think it's dope. He has saved his wife's retirement, and it's fine. They basically draw you in by offering you all of these great reports and lists and access to great stock buy. The latest has been, and it required an upgrade where you can access the earning strength, because what in their research they have found out that anybody can doctor an income statement. A lot of these financial ratios, some of them are meaningful, but some of them can be manipulated, and the overall financial health of a company can be called into question. They've taken all of this data, and there is an earnings um, part of checking analytics that will really allow you to get a better idea about the earnings potential and cash that's just not cash on hand, how much real debt this company has, how much are they really rolling like that, or is that stock price inflated? So that was the last upgrade I did. Having access to that and to being able to compare not just the one company stock, but also the different companies that are similar to that company as far as capitalization, as well as different what's going on with different industries. So what I actually have now has been actually very beneficial to me. My whole goal was actually to have 6 months of savings on lock within my brokerage account, and I've been able to do that. I've been able to have diversified between short term CDs with higher interest rates, as well as stocks, energies, ETFs, just a variety of vehicles that will allow me to actually allow my money to make money. And 6 months of savings, in addition to also my goal by the end of the year, is also have in reserve just in case I don't get my bonus for whatever reason. I will already have made my bonus money in based on what my investments are. And I think I'm almost there, but I'll let y'all know in a separate episode. What is my beef with these companies, and what does that have to do with being a fraud investigator? Just like I found out that SNHU and other fully online universities may themselves be a scam and need to be investigated. What I'm finding out that some of these financial education places may also need to be investigated. Um, I'm going to just pause it right here just for a second because I want to do some investigation about how to um, recognize a fraud. Hold up for a second. So, one of the things, even this can't even be taught in a class, but and also it set off alarm bells. I basically had to block. And everybody that knows me know I don't mind blocking you. I would block my own grandmama. She was talking me to death. However, checking analytics, I had to block old Brandon over there. Why? Because I'm not going to be talked to death. I am a mom and pop retail investor. I basically have bought and I just made back what I paid them checking analytics back. I just made back my money from checking analytics. And it was so much. And I really believe in these financial and economic times. I don't want to give any more money to big businesses um, that is only as much as I can because they can't guarantee that any investment or stock price or stock that I buy is going to make money, it's not going to lose money. They put that in their disclosures. But at the same time, I'm not going to don't make me out to be a mark because the only one that's guaranteed money is y'all. They do this thing that it's like act now or forever hold your peace. You got to click within 15 minutes to get claim some knowledge, or you'll be missing out on this once in a lifetime opportunity. Yeah, okay. No, I don't need you to tell me your $25,000 package for a low price of 5 grand is some type of bargain for the only one that's going to benefit from this is you. There's something absolutely real, not duplicated deal. Yes, it is usually duplicated because, and you got to tell your friends about this too. And this is not a scam, I promise. You know, yeah, it is. It really is. I'm not going to miss out. And I don't care about what family company that you made 7 figures in back in in the 80s. I don't care. You predicted the market crash 3 months before it did because there were many indicators. If you knew what to look for, that was the indication that the market was going to crash back in 2008. What big moves have you made in 2025? It has only been 7 months into this new administration. What moves have you made that has benefited anybody that you're dealing with now or previously dealt with in the past, and you're still helping them make money moves? I don't care, Bob, that made 7 grand back in 2020. I literally don't care about Bob. I want to know what new shit are you saying now that I need to be cognizant of. No, this is not a deal of a lifetime. This is information that you've been repackaging every 2 to 3 years since 2018, 2019. Because again, it's all in your disclosures. And if you click on most of the links that they actually have in there, again, you get the original post from the interwebs way back then too. And this is the only thing. I want everybody to get in their bag because I think there's so much money even to be made in these volatile times. But at the same time, I'm not going to pay a grip in today's 2025 money for some shit that you said back in 2025. Why can't you just tell me how can I utilize these great tools that I just bought from y'all within the last 6 months? Why can't you just give me access because I've already bought access to different parts of your system just in the last 6 months? Why do I have to pay another 2,500 to 5,000 grand for you to get so I can get a report that's basically recirculated, reformulated shit that a combination of somebody else has been talking about since the advent of Bitcoin back in 2009? Again, This rant is by itself because I got one. There was a pitch by Eric Wades and the project Key Square. What I've been able to glean, and that I refuse to pay Stansberry Research or this crooked weave looking Eric Wade to tell me what somebody else has been telling me for free. There's an economic date. That economic data report is getting ready to be published. And today, and I've been watching the news to my own disdain, and I really haven't seen a whole bunch. But what I have noticed is the run up to the release of this report. You get little bits and pieces. They're getting ready to do some type of accord, financial accord out west, where Bessemer was actually on CNBC this morning. Let me see. Race projection. I'm at checking my Coinbase, and it's even down since when I bought my altcoin XRP yesterday. But Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, they're getting ready to have a US backed treasury that is going to be released in the next, I believe, the next several weeks. We're looking for inflation's hedges to inflation. What that has been in the past has been usually gold and other precious metals. I have been buying silver as of late because it's a whole silver bar is definitely only worth a fourth of what a gold bar is of the same weight. Not even a fourth. It's like a tenth. However, I knew it couldn't have been that Bitcoin backed or cryptocurrency backed treasury auction was going to take place today, because today's Tuesday. Usually auctions are not really until Thursday. And I really haven't seen or heard anything in the news in particular about that. But the urgency of this is say get into it before Tuesday, basically. And he also was going to, if you paid the $5,000 or $2,500 or half of that, you basically were going to get access to a report of a possible maybe 10 different cryptocurrencies or altcoins that you could also um, invest in. If you don't have the time to do the research that you really want to be released from your money, and you would give somebody that much access and also free advertisement to these altcoins, because that's how some of them, unlike XRP, which not only is, it's not really a meme coin per se like Chump's coin is, but it is truly an altcoin that actually has a system that is supported. How you pay for stuff using it. It basically is a coin, and it actually has its own cryptocurrency ledger or process that allows it to be securely transferred between peer-to-peer transfer between people. Secure, and in every very, very fast transaction is recorded on this ledger. I think it's dope. I've thought about, not only because I've also created my own meme coin or altcoin, that I think I want to utilize it, that is going to be supported by not just any my own coin, but my coin itself is going to be or going to, that system is going to be the support for the exchange of NFTs, as well as going to be supported by more than just other cryptocurrency like Ethereum. Currently, it's just purely Ethereum, but I'm also trying to build a system similar to XRP's ledger. I want Afro Druid or Roots coin to actually have a similar system of checks, balances, security, an exchange to be able to support the exchange of NFTs and also this currency. I think that that is what separates XRP from most other coins, including Chump's coin. But you got to look at what is also going on. That family has not so quietly moved $2 billion into either purchasing more of their own Bitcoin or their own altcoin, and they've gotten the support of a sovereign fund, the UAE sovereign fund. They already made this education, the Genius Bill, where they are a new support or a mechanism of payment is now going to also be based on Bitcoin. But however, the USDC altcoin also is basically, instead of just our dollar and treasuries being supported by crypto, this particular altcoin is supported by the dollar. So you buy $1, one of these altcoins, then it's worth $1. This is another potential hedge of inflation. With rate cuts and ballooning inflation, why? Because debt and inflation is the bald headed hoe that basically robs of generational wealth. They could be doing something like that. Instead of putting it into their own coin where they can actually just withdraw all of the wealth from it or value from it in a rug pull kind of move, they're basically supporting that $2 billion. What if, even if, in spite of you bullying them into these interest rate cuts and ballooning inflation, but you $2 billion is still $2 billion. And if you don't touch the principal, that $2 billion can become $20 billion, and it can continue to grow with very little need or change exchange on that. That type of wealth, that type of security is basically available to all of us. We just got to know what to look. We just got to know how to utilize the same system that these big institutional investors and a lot of these people will not necessarily tell you, but these are some ways that you can actually protect your wealth without having, and also you still may have to buy some, have to have some taxes, because I know here in Tennessee, crypto is considered property, but we do have some very favorable property tax laws here in Tennessee. So I'll figure that all out, because 2025 has been a very active um, financial investing kind of year for me. And I just want to pass this on to other people, but at the same time, I don't want us to become marks for other companies that want to basically rob us of our wealth. Not only does debt rob you of wealth, there's always some type of Nigerian scammer out here, Nigerian like, because not the scammers look like me, don't look like me, don't look like most of the people that listen to my podcast. They mostly look like a MAGA maggot. They look like Susie Q from the hood. They look like a Karen. We cannot be marks for debt. We can't be marks for and be a dupe for these scammers. And we can't also allow people to rob us of our positively legally gotten gains. All I'm going to tell you is I'm probably going to have more episodes talking about cryptocurrency, my forays into it, how my investment in USDC as well as XRP and Ethereum is doing. I just how my first crypto Afro Druids token sale went, and how I'm decide or how I'm trying to find out to tap in. If I'm going to create an altcoin, why can't I have real life coins, or uh, use the my in real life coin collection, the valuation of that, create an account based on the value of that coin, and basically utilize it to transfer into the financial pool to support the valuation of my digital currency. There has to be a way. Do you create an ETF that supports that? What kind of alternate account do I can I create on my own to tap into that type of valuation? And I'm going to continue to buy silver and gold in multiple forms, preferably in coins, because it's easily packaged up and transportable, just in case I got to run to Canada. But at the same time, just basically purchasing and looking for those deals that are going to just increase my bottom line, and my personal wealth, because that's what that was about. I only have a dog who people are going to be clamoring to take care of, because she comes with her own dowry. Just in case she outlives me, Ethel has an Ethel dowry, just so y'all know. That's why she be looking at me like I'm crazy. Say, you need to leave because I'm worth so certain amount of money at this time. I'm gonna have to increase it if everything keeps continuing to be good as far as investments. And I'm learning something every day. I don't want to take I don't take any of this for granted. I don't take blessings for granted. I don't take increase for granted. But it's really nice not to survive. If I'm gonna have anxiety, I want to have it because I am wondering just how high my returns are going to go. I don't want to have anxiety about other things. And people make up stuff anyway. Sometimes their stories are better than reality, but I hope my reality are also going to be better than the negativity that people actually want to put on you. So that's all for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed listening to this, and my and kind of understanding what how why I started getting tired of conventional banks, Wall Street, how I wanted to use my own money to work for me, and not in case your job does decide to not let you log in and actually do your job. How how is it that you going how are you going to be able to support yourself and to want to still continue to have the lifestyle that you actually want? You don't even have to want to go to expensive restaurants and buy the most expensive clothes, because as I said, it would be nice to have a Van Cleef and Arpels and Louis Vuitton send me thank you cards and gifts, and Christmas cards. But at the same time, all I want to do is enjoy my ramen and crab roe noodles, if I decide to, in my home, in my kitchen with my wolf range. Just simple things. I just want to enjoy those things. I want to still continue to not have to go to the store, because I can also raise it on my own if I stop overwatering everything. But that's it. And hopefully I'll be able to share something that will not only be entertaining, but will be informative to you guys. And just let me know. Drop a message in the comments wherever you listen to this podcast. And again, thank you for joining me. Join me tomorrow. I should be able to post no later than 12 o'clock. Post up by 12 o'clock, and then I'll do a compilation where you can listen to not only this part of the episode, but other parts of the episode as I deal with pop culture. Oh, 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 oh. the girl out of the hood, but you can't take hood music out the girl. But I'm going to end this with a word, just as I started this podcast. Do or do not do. There is no try. And that's a word from Yoda. I hope I have conveyed just how much fun I have had in creating this podcast. I've got my mojo back. Just set your intention or reset your intention. It could be daily if necessary. Mine is peace. No mental dumping over here. If I'm acting like I'm not listening, I'm probably not. I'm not your therapist. I'm not a therapist. Keep the crazy to yourself, child. You do you and leave me be. The sooner you figure that ish out, the happier you will be. So this is what I want to convey in this podcast. And that wraps another of F.A.A.F.O has a fro. Join me next time as I throw shade and point out the shade and simply have fun. Y'all have a great new year. Ah, 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 ah. What, y'all, what?